What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Shay and we are back to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode, child, bear with me, because I don't know, child. Season 15, episode 10, Healing by Sheree. Now, can I tell y'all something? Sheree ain't healing nobody because the way she tried to go in on Miss Drew, and Drew, you think it's slick. You always trying to gaslight somebody just like your old raggedy husband, but we're going to get into it. Let's get into it, shall we?
Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Do us. So we are coming in with a force. Yes, blessings we are reaping, we coursing on.
All right, y'all. So the episode starts off where Candy is giving away food for Thanksgiving. It must be around Thanksgiving time in Atlanta at this point because everybody is looking like they're either celebrating Thanksgiving with their family, Candy giving stuff away. And I loved how Brooklyn finally got to meet Kenya's father. But did y'all notice Kenya's father, her daddy done aged, child? He getting up there. Like her father looked very vibrant some years ago, but I guess Kenya getting old, so he getting old too, child. But I love the fact that Brooklyn got to meet him, and she seems so excited to meet her grandfather in person finally. She gave him a big old hug, and you know, Kenya is very close to her father because I believe him and the grandmothers who raised her. So she was really excited for Brooklyn to finally meet him in person. So in the next scene, we have Ralph doing this whole brunch for the ladies. Now, Ralph, what was you doing this for? What you done did? What are you about to do? What is you covering up? Because it's giving very full of shish. That's what I'm getting from you. You're full of shish. I don't, let me tell you something. Ralph putting together a whole brunch just because they're going to Portugal. I just really can't wrap my head around why he's doing this. And then even when Ralph is talking, he just sounds so fake to me. Like even when he was explaining to Drew, like, yeah, you know, I just want to get something together for the ladies because you guys are going out on this trip. This is going to be amazing. And the guys are going to get together and we're going to cook. And you know, the guys, we get along. All right, booing back to you. Get on, get on. So Candy and Todd arrived first. Courtney brought Bryce, her baby daddy, which I'm like, girl, do you not have another man? Can you get another man? I don't get I don't get Courtney. That's what I don't get. But Candy sees her bring Bryce in there, and apparently she knew Bryce. And she's like, Bryce is so nice. What is he doing with her? Child, Courtney is a walking headache. I don't know why he with her either, but child, I don't even know who he is. So moving on. So then everybody arrives with a man, basically, except for Sheree. So then everybody asking her, where's Martell and his leisure suits? And shout out to giving you the real tea because he the one that calls him leisure suit. So everybody's asking, where is he? And shout out to one of my subscribers that called Martell Narktel. That is dang funny. Hilarious. That is definitely going into the comments of the week for Love and Marriage Huntsville. But moving on, she says that, you know, I don't know what she said Martell was doing, child, but whatever he doing, he wasn't there. So then Marlo comes in with Scottley, okay? And Candy says, oh, yeah, I know Scottley. I met him before, whatever the case may be. But she was like, yeah, I'm surprised he here with Marlo because we all know how Marlo gets down, you know, that 304 behavior where you can't get downtown Judy Brown with her unless you got that green and the kind that folds, okay? So listen, I don't know if this is real with Marlo and Scott Lee, but I guess she gonna milk it for what it is. So moving on, then Kenya comes there, of course, by herself. And so Sheree is like, oh, okay, so where's this guy that you be wanting to talk to all the time, or talking about you talking to, talking about Roy? And she's like, oh, well, he's traveling and this, that, and the third. He won't be able to come. So Sheree trying to act like Roy is just not really a real thing. Sheree, you are the last person to be talking about if somebody's dude is real or not. You're the same person that waited for somebody to get out of the big house for years and years, and he gets out and turns out to be the fluke that he is. Okay? Girl, bye. So then they talk about Candy's movie. Okay. So Candy is doing a movie, and Kenya says, "Oh, okay, well, here's your leading lady. Why haven't I gotten a script? Why am I not invited to be in the show?" And Candy, they all laugh it off. And Candy is like, "Actually, Drew is going to be in the movie as the leading lady." So she said that the person that they casted, the role is basically for a young woman that's naive and basically gets played. Basically, it sounds like Drew. She is naive. She is getting played, but she ain't that damn young, okay? But getting back to Kenya and Roy, Roy ends up calling on the phone, and we find out that Marlo done dated Roy some kind of way. I don't think Marlo dated Roy. I think Marlo and her coochie cat had a run-in with Roy. That's what I think happened. I think that Roy rammed her a good old time. And that's what had happened. Okay. But Marlo, child, ain't nobody thinking about you. In the after show, Kenya actually on the show, Kenya said that Roy actually told her about Marlo and him talking or whatever, but it wasn't really nothing. I think she said that later on in the episode. But moving on, they seem to let it go because Kenya left the table talking to Roy, and then when she comes back, Sanya is like, "Isn't that so crazy that like you guys were talking to the same guy?" I'm like, Sanya, you really like to stir the daggone pot because you ain't got nothing going on with your stick figure body, girl. Boo and bye to you. So Sheree in her confessional compares Kenya making a big deal out of this situation with Marlo, I guess apparently dating Roy in the past, to her saying that, to Kenya saying something about Martell. It's not the same thing. Well, maybe it is, but Kenya really didn't make a big old deal out of it. She was just like, "Oh, okay, well, he went and talked to you, somebody that he shouldn't be talking to, so he can get to what he really needs to be with." So she didn't really talk to Marlo that long about it. And I just think that Sheree, let it go. Don't nobody care about Martell, and you clearly don't care about him either, because y'all, that was a whole fake situation, and you know this. You know this, man. Okay. Moving on. The guys go outside and chat, get to know Scott Lee, ask him how the hell he end up with daggone Marlo, because she got a whole lot of energy, and he says, "Yes, she definitely do." I'm like, hold on, Scott Lee. Is you blowing Marlo's back out? Did you buy her that bag that she had? Child, let me find out. Scott Lee is dugging out her nappy dugout. Moving on, child. Sheree is inside talking to Drew, and she says, "Oh, you have a chef today? Are you paying them?" I'm just, shocked because in the blogs it's saying that you have a chef that you had in the past, but they're suing you or whatever because you didn't pay them. So Drew is instantly offended, and she is queen of gaslighting like her husband. And she's all, like, "I can't believe you're doing this on camera." Basically, like, "I can't believe you're doing, why are you bringing this up? Like, why didn't you have a conversation with me first before you even come out and say something like that?" Like, of yes, it's a situation where this woman, this young lady, she kept begging me to come over and cook. She comes over, she cooks, and it was trash and it had hair in the food. Girl, Drew, did it really have hair in the food? Let this a side note. I feel like Drew is that girl that goes to a restaurant, order all this stuff, and say it tastes bad and it had a hair in it, so she ain't got to pay for it. We synced you at that daggone charity. You ain't want to raise that daggone flag to save your life, okay? That fan was sitting right in your lap where you expected it to stay. You wasn't about to donate a daggone thing. You barely wanted to donate your time to come. Girl, so anyway, the chef lady is suing her for $1,000 because I guess that's what she wants to sue her for the food and the meal of preparation. So Drew was like, "Sheree, I thought we were good. Like, why you messing with me?" Like, basically, like, "Girl, why is it my turn for you to be messed? Like, I think you had enough with me. Like, let's let it go. Let's move on." So then, Sheree looking like, "Girl, I mean, it ain't really that big of a deal to me, but okay." So then she goes into talking about Sheree goes into talking about how they're going to have a really amazing trip. She wants them to be open and really put everything out on the table. And in her confessional, she talks about how she was able to get over stuff with Kim, Deshaun, and Lisa Wu like real fast, after all of that stuff that had happened with them years ago. So now she feels like if they can get over stuff, the current ladies that she's hanging around should be able to get over stuff. So then she says, she turns to Courtney and says, yeah, I may need you as backup to help me with some of these back and forth conversations because you seem to be a really good neutral party. And Kenya says, I know you lying, not really with her going back and forth with Candy the way that she did. So then they Kenya kind of laughs that off, and Candy laughs it off like, girl, I'm just glad that it ain't me. I'm just here so that I don't get fined. So Courtney was like, really? Like, why are you even getting involved in that? Like, it wasn't even that serious. And Courtney like said something slick. And Kenya like was like, girl, can you get your hands out of my face? Like, boundaries, like seriously. And then Drew chimes in saying, yeah, it's not that she's being mean. Like, she's just saying, boundaries. You can't be putting your hands in her face, stuff like that. So they have like this weird little back and forth. I'm like, why is it now Kenya and Courtney having a damn problem? Like, girl, okay. So Candy says, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and head on out because I ain't got time for this. I'm already tired. I done did a lot already. I ain't got time to be watching y'all argue. So she was like, I'm gonna go ahead. Peace out, y'all. Thank you for the food. I'm gonna go. So she goes and collects Todd. She was like, yeah, let's go ahead and get on out of here, like right now. So they end up leaving. It didn't escalate too much with Courtney and Kenya, which I'm thankful that it didn't because I really don't want to see them arguing. So moving on, all the ladies go to the airport. Drew and Sanya were dressed alike, and Candy not feeling good. She got the BGs, and basically she was taking a number two and calling Earl most of the flight because she had food poisoning. She must have ate some really bad food. Child, I hope it wasn't at her restaurant, child. Maybe not, because she's eaten there several times, so I'm pretty sure that's not the case. But and I've eaten there, and her food is very good. So I don't know where the hell Candy was damn eating at. Maybe she just need to eat the food at her restaurant and don't be venturing out and doing other things. But that's just a side note. So moving on, they get through the flight, they get on the sprinter, and Sheree discusses being a healing trip, how she hopes everyone has positive energy. And Kenya looks out the window because she's like, girl, please, everybody ain't gonna have no damn positive energy. And Sheree says, Kenya, why are you looking out the window? You need to pay attention. She was like, I am paying attention to you and your rouge lips. I'm like, that ain't the only thing that's rouge on Sheree, them cheekbones, okay? Because Sheree looks totally different in this confessional than she do in this scene. Sheree, leave your face alone, girl. Don't be listening to all these people in Hollywood telling you to get all this crap done to you. Keep on working out, eating your Wheaties and your juice, drinking your juices and berries. Girl, don't be doing all this crazy stuff to your face because you be looking like a different person every time you come on my screen. Moving on, they arrive at the hotel. They have orange, ginger, and turmeric shots waiting for them at the door. And with Candy and her current GI tract issues, Marlo was like, you should just take one of these shots, Candy. This is what you need. This gonna help you feel better. And Candy looking at her like, girl, I know you're not about to give me no advice. First of all, you can see me because I don't know why you talking to me because I don't see you ever. Okay. That was the look that Candy was giving her. So Candy ignored her. I don't even think Candy drank that drink or not, but that probably would have helped relieve some of her pain. I don't know how she made it through that ride without having to take a dump. That was some serious holding it in. But moving on, Marlo compliments Sheree on her choice of hotel and then gives a dagger at Kenya, saying, yeah, because them hotels that Kenya picked it out, like basically on the Alabama trip, was not it. I'm like, girl, Marlo, you had an Airbnb on y'all trip, so stop. Listen, it all depends on, of course, the rooms in Alabama are not going to look like what it looks like out in daggone Portugal. The scenery is nowhere near going to compare, okay? So they all call their prospective significant others, and Monietta calls Heath. As she's calling Heath, Drew says, yeah, and while you out, make sure you check on Ralph, because yeah, we gotta make sure he's doing what he's supposed to do. Because apparently Ralph is in Vegas and he's going to be auditioning for the Magic Mike show because apparently Rage, the producer that did Drew's video, his other producer or somebody like that was something like that was like, yeah, Ralph should. I'm gonna put a bug in somebody's ear for him to go ahead and do this show. First of all, why would you think that somebody's husband should be auditioning for such a show? Isn't the Magic Mike show kind of like a Chippendales kind of thing where they like slinging their dick around? I don't know. But Monietta said, yeah, Candy took me there for my bachelorette party. So why would you think that that's okay for somebody's husband to do? Okay, well, he better be making a whole lot of money. Moving on. Sanya makes a joke. Everybody is ready to leave out and go and I guess do whatever they're going to do. So as they all getting up from the table, Sanya makes a joke saying, well, let's go out in these streets and really see who's worldwide. Okay, Sanya, let me stop you right here. You really don't have no room to be trying to make no jokes with nobody, okay? Because you over here pretending like you are Switzerland and you neutral between people, and you're not. You're not. It's clear that you have dug your heels in the sand with Miss Marlowe and Sheree. More so Marlo. I hope it's worth it, girl. I hope it's worth it. So the ladies go to their rooms and Sanya visits Marlo in her room and Monietta goes and chats with Drew. Monietta talks about Africa being very close to Portugal and how she has a mission troop or something that an orphanage that she owns in Africa and she travels there quite a bit for her orphanage. And Drew says, oh my God, that is so awesome. I've never been to Africa, but I've been to South Africa. Drew, baby, is that go naked hair in your head? Because I'm feeling like you're channeling a little bit of Portia. Yeah. Is Portia running around in your head, ma'am? Because I know you lying. I just, y'all. I can't seem to wrap my mind around her really. She literally was having this conversation looking Monietta dead in the face. Like she really said something profound. Like she really believed that. Unbelievable. Okay. So Monietta don't even address it. She just moves on. And she talks about how, she goes back and forth and help the children and things of that nature in my Martell voice. Moving on. Drew talks to Monietta about Sheree bringing up her lawsuits and how she tried to shade her about the chef that was at her house. She says Sheree would know about not paying somebody because she don't never be paying nobody. She who don't never pay nobody. Okay. And she just felt like it really hurt her feelings that Sheree would do that because she felt like they were moving on. And she would rather Sheree have called her about it and before saying something on camera. And I'm like, girl, why is this bothering you so much? Like, it's really not that serious. If you know that you pay people all the time, then what somebody say, you got to have thick skin when you on these TV shows. And you have been on here, what is this, your third season? Girl, get a grip. Let it go. Let it go. Okay? So the ladies all go out for dinner. They want to do tequila shots. They order all this food. And Kenya asks if people can wink out of both eyes, some BS. So the drinks come, and the man didn't bring a shot. They brought all drinks. Like these were full-size drinks. I'm like, I know y'all lying. This ain't no damn shot right here. This is a real grown lady drink. Okay. So Sheree says this trip is about putting things out on the table and letting things out. So Courtney speaks up first. She says, you know what, Kenya, I really do have an issue with how you kind of spoke to me the other day and how Sheree told me that you felt like I was invading your space. And so Kenya says, I just asked you to stop touching me because when you touched me, it became condescending. Like when they were going back and forth and then she starts touching her, she's like, okay, this Kenya is basically saying by us going back and forth, we were having a little slight disagreement. And then you start touching me, it makes it start to elevate. And what I'm not trying to do is go to the next level with you because it's not even that serious. So Courtney says she gets mean girl energy from Kenya. And Kenya says, she appreciates Drew for the other day saying in that moment that it wasn't really a thing of her giving bad energy. It was really that you were not being respectful of Kenya's boundaries by putting your hands on her. You don't know her like that. Y'all not friends yet. Y'all trying to get to know each other, but you just doing too damn much, Courtney. You acting like you've been here for years and you ain't been here but for 5 minutes. It's just giving team too much. And so Courtney, Drew says, well, Sheree brings up the chef situation of him suing me, me getting sued from the blogs, and how she was talking about, she felt like Sheree was talking about her behind her back. And basically, Courtney was the one that told Ralph about Sheree talking about her. So here's my thing. Drew says, well, you know, my family is going to let me know what's going on. You calling Courtney family, and y'all met her like 5 minutes ago, literally. So, what type of loyalty does she really have inside of her where she just found out that her and Ralph are cousins? So now she going back and relaying information back and forth to him. But she was so loyal to Sheree at first, talking to her. But now because Ralph is your cousin, you can come back and communicate information quick, fast, in a hurry. It's given fake, very, very fake. So moving on. Then Sheree brings up Drew saying that she took back all the clothes at the reunion and how she lied about it. So Drew says it's true. Like, we had stuff and then all of a sudden it was gone. Like, she was looking for the bag, the She by Sheree bag. And even everybody else said, well, yeah, it's true. Like, they took the stuff back. And Sanya was like, yeah, I don't have anything. And Candy was like, yeah, we had like a hat and a shirt or something like that. But then I think they came back and collected everything. And Kenya said the same thing. So then Marlo comes up on screen with all this She by Sheree gear on. She was like, oh, yeah, I have like 5 pieces. Yeah, I got it all. And I'm like, Marlo, we ain't never seen you wear not a She by Sheree, not a goddamn thing. Stop. Please stop. So Marlo seemed to be the only one, her and Andy Cohen, that got the merchandise. Y'all comment down below. Did y'all buy something from Sheree? I just want to see something. Like, did you actually pay the $5? Because I'm not paying $200 and anything for a sweatshirt. I'm not paying any of that. I don't care if it's Gucci down the socks to the socks. I'm not doing it. Okay. So Drew says that, so Sheree brings up the whole She by Sheree thing. Drew says we already talked about that. So basically, there was a scene where they talked about it at the spa with Kenya. It was Drew, Kenya, and Sheree. Sheree brought it up then, and they talked about it. They hashed it out. Drew apologized. So I don't know why Sheree keeps on bringing this up. Sheree is just trying to cover up for the fact that she's trying to be messy about this whole chef thing. You stirring the pot, and you didn't have a proper rebuttal for when she sat up there and called you out for saying what you said about the chef. You didn't have a conversation. You're trying to be messy. And basically, Drew peeped your whole daggone card. So moving on, Kenya says, I really don't think that you guys, because they're going back and forth. Sheree and Drew are bickering. And Kenya was like, I really think that you guys have like big sis, little sis type relationship. And Marlo was like, girl, no, the heck they don't. So they're still going back and forth. Marlo tells Sheree, she's like, listen, you need to just take it on down a notch. This is your trip. You need to take care of her. She's your guest. And Kenya says the same thing. She's like, you're being a terrible host right now, Sheree. You need to just go ahead and talk to her and just let it go. So Drew gets up and immediately is like bawling and crying and leaves out of the room. And I'm like, girl, what is you crying for? This is extremely team too much and dramatic. I cannot. I absolutely cannot. And I won't. So she gets up, start crying. Marlo is like, girl, you need to go and talk to her, telling Sheree she need to go talk to her. And I'm like, I don't think that anything that Sheree could have ever said or done should make this girl react like this. It was just, Drew, are you auditioning for Candy's movie again right now? Because this is some serious theatrics right here. It's terrible. But y'all, that's basically it. Sheree is gonna get up and go and check on Drew. I can't wait to see what the hell homegirl was crying for, because I can't imagine it's that deep. Shan is in the building. What's up, Shan? Shan says, hey y'all, what up, Shan? Thank you so much for joining us. Shan says Drew said he was going to Vegas on business. Child. He gonna do everything but mind his business and other people's tail. Queen T says, hey Shan, chat, Lord have mercy. Yes, a mess. It's a fool. Shan says, I agree. There's no chemistry between Drew and Ralph. I think there's chemistry between them. I just also think that he is a humongous liar. I think he's a liar. I think that she always putting on for her city. She's an actress and she always acting. She always acting too much and doing the absolute most. And Drew gets on my nerves sometimes. She really do. Like it gives a lot of fakery, her and her husband. But nevertheless, I do think that they are attracted to each other. Queen T says she lied and said Martell was sick. Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, what was wrong with Martell? I'm like, that man wasn't no damn sick. And if he was, maybe he was the one that had C19 when he was, this might have been around the time when he was telling old Coleslaw that Melody was sick. Child, he is a fool. Shan says Bryce played the guy that did hair and beauty shop with Queen Latifah, and I believe he sung with Groove Theory. Yeah, I heard that he was in a group. Oh, I do remember him on Beauty Shop. Interesting. I used to love that movie, y'all. Funny story. When I lived alone. I think I was in my early 20s. This was like my first apartment that I had. No, my second apartment that I had by myself when I finally moved back home. Because when I lived in Baltimore after I went to Morgan State, the apartments were cheap. Like my rent was like $650. But then I moved back down to the DMV where I'm from, and well, that's Tech Baltimore technically is DMV, but we don't consider that. But moving on, I moved to like PG County area where it was more expensive, and my rent was like $1,200 a month, so I had to double my rent payment. But anyway, I didn't have cable, so I used to watch Beauty Shop over and over and over again. That was one of 8 DVDs that I owned. Coming to America was one of them, and I love it. That's my favorite movie. But moving on, y'all, they ain't got nothing to do with me. So Shan says Kenya need to stop. She rented boyfriends for years, and did. Okay, and definitely did. So I ain't gonna say nothing about that. Queen T says Marlo said that it was just a date, really nothing. She admitted. Child, we know her for her middle parts. Okay, if he says she did it, she did that. Okay. Shan says Kenya has been searching for a problem this season so she could have a storyline. She jumped in the Marlo candy mess. Yeah, I don't know. I think Kenya should be just good with sitting there being neutral, giving the shade when it's needed, and then moving on. Hell, she have enough going on with that going Sanya. Because she can easily go back and forth with Sanya and point out the fact that Sanya is being a flip flopper because she is, and it's true. Shan says, "Yep, it's a stripper show." Yeah, it sure enough is. I should have went when I was in Vegas. My friend is getting married, and she was, I don't know what was going through her head to ask me to be her maid of honor, child, but that's what it is. So we went to Vegas, as y'all know, like 2 weeks ago. We went to go see the Usher show. And I was thinking about going and seeing one of those shows, but I was like, they don't get completely nude. So it's like, what's the point? But I don't like male strippers anyway, but that's just a side note. Shan says, I need Sheree to act her age. Child, I need her to stop doing Botox. That's what I need her to do. She is ruining her face. Like, Sheree don't even look her age. This lady is very close to 60. She looks daggone good, but she is ruining it for me. Like, seriously. And I need her prices to not be so ridiculous for her clothing because I would love to support her. And I need her to go on and pay that designer that did the designers for her runway show so she can get that stuff too. I just think that Sheree just doesn't know how to run a business. I think that she is heavily relying on her D-list celebrity status, child. I don't even know if it's D. It may be lower than that, child. But it's just mm, mm, I don't know, y'all. This episode was okay. I feel like it was somewhat of a filler episode. But let's just see. I'm glad Marlo is not arguing with nobody, and she kept it pretty much cordial this episode. We'll see how things progress in the next couple of episodes. So, y'all, thank y'all for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that's watching this show too. And I will see you in the next video. Side note, New York. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that. Superb. Love the revamp of Real Housewives in New York. We will be reviewing that as well. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Peace out.